Our meditation today is taken from a portion of scripture that is mind-boggling. It baffles us at times. And I guess to many of us, it is an aha moment. Philippians chapter 2 verse 1 to 11 is the scripture text that we are meditating on. I would think that this is a great self-introduction or a confession or a testimonial that stands out and reminding us again and again, reminding the church at that time, reminding the reader like me who are reading this after 2,000 years, that it is a very special and a powerful testimony or a confession or a self-introduction that evoke responses and emotion to reader like us. I've come across many self-introduction, many testimonial, many confession like this in the Bible, and as well as many other great self-introduction, testimony, and confession in the world that have changed the trajectory of my life forever and ever. And I think this is one that would change the trajectory of the life of the people reading it. Now, the testimonial or confession before us today is one that stands out like a bright lit candle in a dark room. That's how special it is. It just come in and illuminate the room. It has been a guide for the church in the many centuries, as it introduces to us the unassuming God who have done the extraordinary. Now, the confession stands out because it talks about the emptying of God. And that marks it one of a kind. In fact, the confession or the text itself tells us that he was in the form of God, did not count equality with God, and make himself nothing. It is God emptying himself in love, so that he can serve the people, so that his grace can come for each and every one of us. Now, the word nothing strikes me because he is a God of everything, a God who is all-encompassing, a God who is all-sovereign, God in his fullness. But yet the scripture tells us that he did not count equality with God and make himself nothing. To be born, to die for the sin of mankind, and to be born in the likeness of man. What make God do this baffle my mind and baffle many minds who reads this, except to say that God chose us this way, to do this lowly pathway, because in the scripture itself it says that in order for him to be exalted, this is the only pathway. So therefore, brothers and sisters, he chose to do the lowly pathway for his exaltation, to become Lord of all to each and every one of us. Now, the secret of becoming nothing or embracing this lowly pathway to attain greatness is not in the tendency of the natural self, because the natural self is not humbling enough to do so. And humans tend to want to be exalted, to gain power through wisdom, through quest. But Jesus showed us a different way. I would say a very countercultural way, to say that you must be nothing so that you can be exalted and be something. It is in leading, it is in the Christian ministry that Jesus is showing us a pattern here, that we have to humble ourselves to be nothing if we want to be exalted by Christ in the things that we do. Have you ever asked why? Or what motivated God to choose this way? I believe it lies in the inner character of God, and there's something for us to learn. That God is consistent, and his sacrificial love is always very consistent, and he would say that he loves us, he wants us to understand his mission, his work through his sacrificial love, and he has always been consistent in his inner character. Now, God chose this way because He wants us to understand that He become nothing to become one of us. Not even like one of us. At times He says, I will become a servant. A very lowly in the one of us. That's what He's saying. And He says that He is doing this because He wants to help us, or the group, or the people, to understand who He is, His work, His mission, His sacrificial love, and His grace. That's why He has to come, He has to give up everything, embraces nothingness, become one of us, so that He can be exalted as God and King. So brothers and sisters, there's much for us to learn. When we want to lead, when we want to do our ministry, when we want to walk in the life that God wants us to walk in, God is saying to us that we need to embrace humility. It is through the pathway of being nothing, so that the people would understand that we are part of them, and people will know our mission and our work. And that we are not here to lord over them, but we are here to help, or we are here to be with them. And that's what Jesus is telling us through the text, that He become nothing so that He can become a servant, born in the likeness of man to save us. And that is His mission. So in order for us to be able to help the people that we lead, the people that walk with us, to understand the mission, to understand our work, to understand the things that we do, then we have to be humble like that of Jesus. Embrace humility, become nothing, become one of them. In fact, the one that is lowly, become the servant, so that we are able to tell them who we are, the identity that we come in, and the mission and the work that we are doing. And I believe that God is calling each and every one of us to such service, to such humbleness, and to such humility. So I pray that this Lenten season, we will be able to learn from Jesus, that we are able to lead like Jesus, to be able to come like that of Jesus, so that the people will know what is the mission, the motive, and what is the work that we are to do with the group of people that we are working with.